Welcome to UBC Small Business. I'm your host, AMELIA Moore. We are here at World Trade Week, New York City 2016. We're going to find out what's going on in the international world of trading, import, and export. So you don't want to go anywhere, you want to keep it right here. Go global. We'll be right back. And we're back. Now, when you talk about international trade, banking is probably one of the most important aspects you need to do that foreign exchange. We have none other than Andrea and Charles from TD Bank. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, I'm under the understanding that, Andrea, you were one of the presenters today, correct?
That's correct. Yes, I had the pleasure of presenting the Global Trade Award to the Long Island Import-Export Association. They're an association on Long Island that does a lot to promote awareness of international trade as well as the programs offered by the Customs and Border Protection. Very important stuff for anybody involved in international trade.
And just let's talk briefly about TD Bank, because so many people focus on the banking as far as, you know, sometimes it being a challenge. How is TD, the People's Bank, help encourage businesses today to look at and explore international trade?
One of the things that's truly key when you're dealing across borders is counterparty risk. And so we are the safest bank in North America, as per the Global Trade Review Survey of 2015. We're consistently a very reliable partner for companies to work with.
And Charles, I'd like to present that very same question to you as far as, you know, the aspect of which you work in. How do you help businesses understand the importance of international trade?
Well, we tell them not to be afraid, that all the things that make them successful domestically are still valuable when they go abroad. And that there's a few additional things they need to know, but if they have good people and a good product, they'll still be successful.
Well, there you have it. It is all about World Trade Week right here at Baruch College with my new friends from TD Bank. We'll be back with so much more. You don't want to go anywhere. You want to keep it right here. UBC-TV. We are here with Lucy Ambrosino. Welcome to UBC Red's Carpet here at the World Trade Week, New York City. How was the breakfast this morning?
Oh, it was fantastic. A sellout as always. It has always been a sellout. It's a great opportunity to bring all aspects of the trade community, of the international trade community, to one big celebration.
Now, you were part and parcel of the steering committee. What are some of the main focus that the steering committee has to make certain that this is a fantastic event?
A lot of networking. I mean, we worked, and I say we because I was there before, although I haven't been this year since I retired. But they start in September. Actually, there will be a debrief in about a month, and then they start again in September and work right through May. It is constant contact with any and everyone. They really review and research what companies can get awards and really go out of their way to get the correct sponsors, such as yourself. I mean, it really is just hard work, a lot of hard work.
Now, congratulations to you receiving the Appreciation Award. What does it feel, your years of dedication and being recognized for that?
Finally. No, actually, you did it. You didn't do it for the praise. You did it because you really believed in international trade. And my goal was to really bring that link between trade and transportation. I worked for the Port of New York and New Jersey for over 25 years, and I wanted to bridge that link. And so we brought in companies that were involved in all aspects of international freight transportation. And in fact, we just started the Global Logistics Award 2 years ago, and I'm so glad they're continuing it.
Well, Lucy, congratulations to you. Many years of happiness in your retirement. And we have so much more for you, so you want to keep it right here at UBC TV. We'll be right back. Our next guest is not far into this red carpet. We interviewed you last year, Nancy. At that time, she was the president of the Manhattan Chamber of Commerce, correct? Yes. This year, you have a wonderful initiative that you started. Please tell our audience all about it.
The International Women's Entrepreneurial Challenge Foundation is a new 501c3 set up and headquartered here in New York City. It's actually an initiative that was started by 3 international chambers back in 2007 and run under their umbrellas for all these years. And we've had an annual conference every year, and the mission is to help support second stage women-owned businesses in their growth globally, which increases jobs in their own cities and countries, increases their corporate social responsibility initiatives, and also makes great connections for global business and trade. So now we've spun it off after it was very successful, and as of March 1st, I am the executive director and creating a whole new organization.
You know, there's so much, we talked earlier, there's so much that goes into forming a new organization, you know, making sure that you're staffing, all the paperwork and everything else. For those individuals that want to learn more about growth, explain what level, because I know that you're talking about mid-level businesses, so it's not necessarily the startups. So I would like that criteria explained just a little bit more so that people can really understand that it's about going from mid to big.
Yes, exactly. And it is not about the startups or the beginning entrepreneurs, because there are a lot of programs for those levels through the UN, through a lot of NGOs around the world, but there's not really any programs that specifically for second stage women or growth organizations. And that really starts at 1.5 million, which really can be very small, but in other countries where there's a difference in the foreign exchange rate, 1.5 million, they could be a big business or a mid-sized business. Exactly. So we're helping those levels grow, and I think that's the focus. But we also know that many of these women who own these businesses of that nature also give back in the form of mentorship and working with young startup women-owned businesses. So that's not our focus, but we know it's a byproduct of what we're trying to do to strengthen these women-owned businesses.
Well, you know, with the onslaught of women really now taking on the challenges of being an independent woman and embracing commerce, you know, and also politics, because we may have a woman president, what advice could you give, you know, understanding not only the importance of commerce, but also the complexity of international trade? What advice could you give those women?
The main piece of advice that I always give is to find a partner, to find a contact in that country or in your local economic development, whether it's through chambers, whether it's through your cities, whether it's through your state, whether it's through the federal government. You can't do this by yourself. You have to have the right contact on the ground to connect with if you're going to go global. You can't just say, oh, okay, I'm going to go open a business in Brazil and proceed to try to do it, because there's lots of regulations you have to learn about. There's import-export duties, there's customs, there's so many things that you really can't do it by yourself, and you need a partner. And that's where all these great organizations such as Chambers, the USIAC here, the United States Export Assistance Centers in the United States, and other AmChams around the world can be very helpful.
Well, we wish IWEC nothing but continued success, and it's all about the sisterhood. We have so much more for you right here, UBC TV Small Business. We'll be right back. And we're back with the Lifetime Achievement Award recipient for today, Mr. Ike Savitt. Welcome to the red carpet. Now, sir, talk to us about what today was.
Well, it is very important to understand the logic behind and the mission we have as members of the District Expert Council of New York. To understand, the United States has 5% of population in the world. The rest, 95%, a lot of them are business people, potential clients and customers for us. We have to learn how to reach them. We have to learn how to understand the nature of global business, how it functions. It's not slogans, it's activities. If you have a product that is produced in the United States and has ramification in foreign markets, more for it. Get going right away. Don't lose your time.
You know, talking about time, you're someone that stays really busy. You're very busy. You're also a columnist. You write for a magazine, yes?
In Mexico, in the Spanish magazine, yes, that's correct.
Where do you find the time? I mean, between running your business, helping others, educating them on what international trade is?
That's a good question. You always, if you want to do something and your mind is set to it, you can do it. And it does it because it lifts me up a little. It makes me a little taller than I am. At my age, I'm getting down, so I need the stimulus to get up a little, step by step. So I'm working on step-by-step ups.
Well, sir, you know, you also speak 6 languages. How instrumental has that been with you doing international trade?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because in business, in international business, you not only have to know the languages of the people you do business with, but I get to know the idiosyncrasies of each culture. And that's very important. So you learn, one goes with the other. So if you do business with Mexico, which have established an office in Mexico, I am, shall we say, Mexican when I need to be, okay?
Well, you're just about anything when you need to be. Fantastic. Well, sir, we wish you nothing more.
You understand, for example, the Mexican culture, which is very dedicated in a beautiful mariachi song. Sigo siendo el rey. I'm going to be the king.
And you are.
And we're the king. and the rhyme of the song is, sin dinero, con dinero, with money, without money, I'm going to be the king.
That's right.
So this is the attitude you have to have in international business.
Which is my last question. How important is your mindset, having a good business, sound business mind, important to growing business?
Well, get up in the morning, read the paper, watch a little television, not too much, and get to know what's happening in the world. And then, of course, it's important to have once a month or once in 2 weeks, have a magazine related to particular industries. Of course, it's very also important to know if you're in a certain business, you belong to a certain association. We have the graphic arts printer related industries, which I am a lifetime member.
Yes.
The same is in Mexico. There's a graphic arts industry in Mexico. So if I want to set up relations, this is the way to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Every country has a certain segment of an industry. If you're looking for leather manufacturers in whatever, you go to the consulate, ask the commercial attaché from the United States to get you some addresses, not individual guys, but the associations. So you have to, it's like going fishing.
Right. You got to put out a few baits.
You put it and you catch it.
There you
And
go.
now, try again.
Right, exactly. Well, Mr. Savet, thank you so much for visiting our red carpet. Continued success to you, and congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you. We have more. We'll be right back.
And thank you. In Russian, they say spasibo.
Спасибо.
Yes. In Spanish, they say gracias.
Gracias. De nada.
And
You're
the
welcome.
Germans would say auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. See, I can speak 6 languages too. It's all about the
And even
mentorship.
in Brazil, they would say muito obrigado.
Muito obrigado.
So here we are. We conquered the
Bye-bye.
language.
Thank you. We have so much more. Keep it right here. We'll be right back. And we're back, and we have none other than one of our personal favorites, Miss K.L. Fredericks, correct? I said that correctly? Yes, you did. Now, you know, K.L., I was reading about your bio, and one of the most amazing things that I read was Mr. Ron Brown appointed you, yes?
He did. Yes, he did.
Oh, my God,
Back
that's so
in
fantastic.
1995, we had a press conference at the State Office building in Harlem, and Mr. Brown introduced me as the director of the Harlem U.S. Export Assistance Center, and I was very touched.
Yeah, I would imagine that, that, wow. Those are one of those whoa moments in your career.
it was.
Talk about now and what the Harlem Center is doing right now, because there's so much that's booming in Harlem right now.
We are so busy, not only with World Trade Week, but I also cover the food industry in New York City, and all of the franchise industry in New York City as well. We have 2 major trade shows coming up. David Roman from my office is very, very busy meeting with the different chambers of commerce and working with their startup companies to help them export. And he's wonderful at that. So that's what we're doing. Lots of stuff.
I want to talk about the importance of young businesses thinking early in their career, business career, about growing into international business? Because a lot of people miss that. I mean, the entertainment industry didn't. We realized that bringing records back, it was a higher price point, you know, as an import as opposed to a national record. But what are some of the other benefits for young businesses when they start talking about and participating in international trade?
When a business initially does its business plan, they should automatically put together an international marketing plan. The earlier you put it together and get started on that road to looking across the borders, the faster you will get there and the faster you'll grow your company. Because, as has been said many times, 96% of the consumers are outside the United States. And if you need any assistance, you can just call our office. We can assist you with getting your international marketing plan together and getting your goods and services overseas.
You know, Kale, Mr. Savitz said that it is about networking with other organizations. And now, with your in particular organization, what would be the criteria that you would look for a startup business? What would they need to bring to you for you to help them?
A business plan. They should know their product or service very well. They should have an idea of where. They should do some homework, which they can do at export.gov by looking at some of the country commercial guides that are there, some of the industry reports that are also available online. Do some homework. Figure out, where do people need my product or service? I'm working with an education company right now, and we're looking at Brazil because they offer a TOEFL program. All right? So Brazil is looking to get their students into the United States, into colleges. So this company can actually assist them with supplying them with those, and these are online courses that can assist with language. So, because when you come to school in the United States, you better know English.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, there's so much more this woman could teach us. We don't have enough time, but make certain that you go to the website, and please tell us the website.
Export.gov.
There you have it. And the last question is, are you global? We've got more right here from the UBC TV red carpet here at World Trade Week, New York City, 2016. We'll be right back. And we're back, and we have Mr. Frank Su from Taiwan. Yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Talk to us about the importance. We were talking about earlier about the trade in American and Taiwanese culture. What do you find is the biggest challenge?
I think nowadays, because internet is so popular, and before that we can get contact with people very easily. But nowadays, through internet, we get all the information, and actually it's difficult to get contact with people himself. That's the challenge I have to work in New York.
That's very interesting, because you would think that with technology would bring people closer together. But you know, people are so consumed with so many things. So now, what does your organization do to help overcome that challenge?
Well, now we have to do more marketing on the internet, and we should have a better media. For example, we use Facebook, Twitter, and website to promote our business. Taiwan Trade Center is a non-profit trade promotion organization from Taiwan, and we help people to do business with Taiwan. If those who are interested in doing business with Taiwan, no matter they want to import or they want to export, we can always help.
You know what's really interesting, too, that I noticed is an interesting transposition happening with Taiwanese businesses in that, you know, when America went over there, they were teaching, but now you guys are teaching us, because it's one thing about doing it every single day. Right. For those businesses that want to learn more about manufacturing and international trade, what would be that one jewel of information you could give them?
I think Taiwan is a country just like we help people to visualize their idea, their dream. For example, everybody knows the iPhone, And iPhone was designed by the American companies, but actually it was visualized by the Taiwanese companies through their factories in China. So anybody, they have the idea, they don't know how to put into a real world, then we help them to manufacture it and to assemble it, and then help them to realize their idea, their dream.
Well, Mr. Su, thank you so much for visiting the World Trade Week's red carpet here for UBC TV. We wish you nothing more than continued success. There you have it. We have so many more guests to interview this afternoon. It's all about international trade. Are you global? We'll be right back. We're back with the man himself, Mr. Joseph Schoonmaker. Welcome to the red carpet here. Now, another year, Joe. What do you have to say about that?
A little too much work. This is getting tiring, but so, how do you put it, enlivening doing this with all these people who are award winners.
You know, the DEC is so responsible for so many things. For those individuals that don't understand the importance of interacting and understanding the responsibilities of DEC, could you please explain it to them?
Yes, briefly, there are district export councils in every state, approximately 58 or 59 of them around the country. And what we are supporters of the U.S. Export Assistance Centers around the country. So we work with the USIACs to support small and mid-sized companies exporting U.S. goods and services. We're appointed to this position by the U.S. Secretary of Commerce, and we do this as volunteers. We don't get paid for this. In many cases, the people who are volunteering are doing international trade anyway. My involvement is in international trade credit, and so I'm very happy to work with small and mid-sized companies and support the efforts of the U.S. Export Assistance Centers.
And you know, the beautiful thing we always been saying throughout today is knowledge is power. And having organizations such as yourself really gives small businesses the first step to the access and the networking. How important is networking when you talk about international trade?
Well, especially for small and mid-sized businesses, it's extremely important because you have to have the contacts, you have to have the knowledge, you have to have the expertise. If you're a small company, you may have a nice idea on exporting something overseas, but you may have no idea how to finance it. You may have no idea on the transportation costs involved in it. You have to network, you have to have contacts in the world. If you're a big company like GE or United Technologies, you've got it sitting down in some building somewhere in the country. But a small company has to develop that expertise on its own.
Well, there you have it. He has more people to speak with, and we have more guests to interview. But like a schooner that sails so smoothly, the DEC will help you sail through the international trade even smoother. We've got more for you. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back. Now, fashion is something that is completely international. And our next guest, Christina, is from one of my favorite fashion schools, FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology, correct?
That's right. And I come from the Department of International Trade and Marketing for the fashion industries. And so what we do is we prepare the next generation traders to study businesses and the international side of business.
You know what's really interesting about technology as it relates to fashion? It is really expediting a lot of things.
Yes.
How is it also affecting international trade?
Yes, it's very important. So for instance, our students get to learn the Blue Cherry, which is a technology that's used by fashion companies so that they can track their inventory, their compliance issues, their finance, the logistics of the products moving from one place to the other.
Fantastic. And what advice would you give someone that wants to get into the fashion industry?
Well, first of all, you have to love fashion. Second of all, you have to love the world, embrace the different cultures and personalities and countries and people and places that get into the process. And also, it is to really be open to new ideas. The old ideas may no longer be valid, and so therefore we're very happy to be promoting those kinds of ideas to our students.
It's all about education and exploration, and FIT has been a founder of that. Welcome. Thank you so much for visiting our red carpet, Miss Cynthia. There is so much more that we're going to find out about international trade today, so you don't want to go anywhere. You want to keep it right here for UBC TV's network, Small Businesses. We'll be right back. We're back with none other than the man of the hour himself, Mr. Terrance Martel, PhD. Welcome to the red carpet here at World Trade Week, our international breakfast. How are you today?
I am well. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm happy it's over. It was another success, 11 years in a row. A good message, a good crowd. Very pleased.
Sold out, too.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, Mr. Martel, we always like to know what is the key, what is the secret, what is the main ingredient that when you're dealing with international trade, you should really consider as a business.
Know your counterparty. The most important thing is to have trust in the person with whom you're dealing. That's the ne plus ultra. If you have that, you have a good first step. Where deals fall apart, they fall apart because the due diligence wasn't done beforehand.
Exactly. Well, you know, now it's being held here at your alma mater, Baruch College. How wonderful do you feel like knowing that your school is still, your alma mater is still participating and remaining current with, you know, keeping trade and business going?
I think it's very, very important. I mean, Baruch is a public university, has a public responsibility to foster economic growth, and I think presentations like you heard today are very, very important in keeping that message going about trade, the importance of trade, the importance of trade that creates jobs for New York City. These are high-paying jobs. These are not $10 an hour jobs. These are jobs that middle-class people can survive on, and it's a very, very important thing. It's a story that needs to be told. I thought Secretary Selleck did an excellent job of telling that story today.
I agree. You know, it is kind of like the backbone of American middle class, and looking at technology and how it's affecting international trade. What would be your viewpoint on that?
That's a pretty complex question. What technology does for us more than anything else, it seems to me, is provide easier access to information so that the business person, the entrepreneur, can in fact know what to do. There's just simply more data available today than there was, and it's available in a more useful format. That is the most important thing. I mean, we all talk about, you know, FedEx being able to track a shipment around the world. That's all well and good, and we appreciate it. But the idea of having the information about your business partner in a timely manner is critical.
Well, there you have it from the man himself. Knowledge is power. Get more knowledge by watching us here at UBC TV and also network at next year's World Trade Week International Breakfast. Thank you very much, Mr. Martel.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful evening. Well, we hope you enjoyed watching the show as much as we did bringing it to you. Thank you to everyone who attended this year's International Breakfast for World Trade Week 2016 here in New York City. It is all about UBC TV Network. I am your host, Amelia Moore, a.k.a. Amelia is More. And if you want to know what's hot and whatnot, keep it right here for UBC TV.